So we have come to LHS 1228 Cooper City Station to do some deep core mining training and an experiment in equipage. And I've brought an Imperial Eagle, and the link that will be supplied is for an adder, and I would expect a beginner to use an adder, but I am interested in using this Eagle just to demonstrate the idea that whatever ship you have, whether it's a Viper or an Adder or a Cobra or a Viper 4 or pretty much any small ship with the new changes in the two slots they've added in the small size has made all of the small ships viable, or I think it's viable. This ship may be stretching the point a little bit, but I guess we're going to find that out. So let's get started with doing some outfitting. And I just want to go through the thought process here. The first thing we're going to need is under mining tools, you'll find the things we'll need for now. First thing, in a 2B slot, we need a seismic charge launcher, and this is one of the items that will set you back the most, I believe. And the next thing we'll need in the same is an abrasion blaster. And we can't buy a fixed abrasion blaster, so it's going to cost us a little bit more, and we'll go with this turreted one. This pulse laser, we can keep it, or we can store it, or we can sell it. They're all the same, relatively the same, I would say. For this, I'm just going to leave it for no particular reason. In the utility slot, we need a pulse wave analyzer. And for our training, I'm going to pick the least expensive one. But if you have the option and you have some spare cash, this is a good place to spend your spare cash. And I'm using this, and I've adapted the technique that we'll be using to discover cores to take into account that we're using this instead of an A, and we'll explain that later. The core internals, they're all E. I'm not changing any of those for now. The only thing that might be a problem is the power supply, and we already see that it is exceeding a little bit. We'll work on that when we get to it. Now the first thing we need is 15 tons of cargo space, so that's the first thing we're gonna have to start working on. I can swap this to an empty slot in case we need it. So we have 12, 14, and with we have 14, and if we fit a refinery, it will have at least one. It will hold at least one more ton, so that will get us to our 15. And I'm not going to fit anything in the military slot because we're not going to be doing any fighting, I hope. I don't plan to be doing any fighting. So let's about putting a refinery in this slot? Oh, you know what? We can't really do that. I forgot that we got rid of our shield generator, and I'm unwilling to run without a shield, so this will have to be a shield generator. And this is our only option, so we're going to take it. So for sure, well, not for sure, but gonna need it. I'm going to be using Prospector Limpet. I suppose it's possible to get by without one, but that's stretching the point way too far in my opinion. So, and this will get us back another basically 10,500 credits almost. So that's quite good. And the Prospector in our case, if it was an E, that would be fine. And again, the process we're going to use is adapted to all of these modules, and we'll see why when we get out in the field. The next thing is I want a collector limpet, and again our only option is an A, and so we're going to take it. I forgot to look to see how much, if that got us back anything. So we need a refinery, and so that means this cargo wreck has to go. So our options are, we can put a refinery here, and we have 4 slots here. So if we put a refinery here, it needs to be bigger than 4 slots. And if we put a refinery here, it needs to be 2 slots or larger. So that's only 1 slot. For 45,900 credits, we can get our 2 slots back. For 137, we can make the 15. So if you have the cash, this would be the thing to pick. I think 15 is the magic number I'm looking for. If you don't have the cash, then this would get you back to your 14. And if you don't have that, then there's always this. But remember, if you just leave 1 ton in the field, that could be worth $500,000. So I'm gonna just say we have the cash, and I'm gonna make because that's not a whole lot. It is a little bit more than we would be spending on our adder. So we have 12 here, and this gets us to our 15 number. I believe we're all set. The next thing it's going to want us to do is set up our fire groups. It kind of always does that, so we'll do that. Well, I'm going to start here, and the first thing I want to do is fire my pulse wave analyzer, and then from here, when I press my previous button, it will jump to this fire group, and if I pulse something and it provides a positive response, then the next thing I'm going to want to do is prospect it. And if the prospection turns up a positive result, the next thing I'm going to want to do is launch seismic charges into it. And at that point, if once it cracks, that means I'll want to be doing abrasion blasting and also collecting. So I'll start here. I'll press my button to go to my previous fire group, jump to here, press it again, jump to here. Then I'll always be round robining in the proper order. That's the idea, and I like to have anything I'm firing, even if it's in a combat ship, I like to have it on group 1 and utilities on group 2 if there are any utilities, and under the heat of battle or whatever stress, we're not going to be under stress here, hopefully, but if you have a system like that, it's always good. And the thing that happens quite a bit, even to me to this day, is I'll leave the station without limpets or restocking something. See, the trick to this is it comes empty. I'm not sure if I don't think all of them do. I'm not sure why this does, but this can be tricky in that to restock we can press this button, but we don't need 6,000 credits worth of seismic charges, and in any case we have to press this button to get limpets. And we come to this restock screen, and here we see limpet control, and let's buy 4 limpets for now, and let's buy 10 of these. So I'm spending less than 1,000 and for more charges than I should need. And now we're fine we're all set. We're all set to go mining. And again, if I press this, I'll throw out 5,000 credits. Although if you plan to make a living at this, I guess that's fine. The next thing we need is a place to go mine. So let's check that out. The reason we're in this system is because all the ships and modules are at 15% discount, and this system has all 3 types of rings, which we're going to do all 3 types. And planet number 3, I believe, is the one we'll start with, and we're going to start in the Rocky. I hope we start in the Rocky. Sometimes I automatically go to the icy because it's Pavlovian response, I guess, but we're starting in the Rocky because the fissures on the Rocky are the easiest to spot from quite far away. The rocks are quite large and quite separated, so they're easy to maneuver and easy to see, and they don't get obstructed by other things, and we're not likely to run into anything. So let me get my ship launched and get out there, and I will meet you when I get there.